Workers go on strike and stand together at picket lines, shutting down and cutting off the connection between businesses and customers at the worst possible time. And it is possible that more flights will be canceled and delayed, but not for the reasons you might think, with the scariest and most dangerous cold front sweeping across many parts of the country and bringing dangerous and life-threatening challenges along with it. Frozen planes stuck on the runway, unable to be de-iced, and passengers left stranded. Travelers stuck in airports and with no way of reaching loved ones or to return home and get back to work, possibly at risk of losing their jobs due to transportation bottlenecks. And add to this existing struggle, warnings are to brace and prepare for airport strikes that could last for months. This not only hurts revenues and profits, but it hurts the economy as a whole. We have seen the scary and shocking worry that built up with railroad workers threatening to strike and shutting down a third of the U.S. supply chain and potentially costing the economy some $2 billion a day. Railway freight workers unions that keep freight trains moving along the tracks for companies like CSX, Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway-owned BNSF were just days away from walking off the job and jamming up the country's most critical mode of freight transportation. An impact that would have had a lasting effect on everyone because our entire supply chain is interconnected with railway freight in some way. And we saw the government stepped in when Congress passed a bill through the Senate and President Joe Biden signed it into law, thus making it illegal for railroad workers to strike or else be thrown in jail and face charges. Now, this executive order and assertion of forcible power and overreach by the government isn't always able to come to the rescue of those wealthy billionaire business tycoons who are too greedy to provide livable wages and a higher quality of life for their most valuable assets, the employees. And last-minute shoppers in San Francisco's Union Square ran into picket lines at Macy's. Union workers there officially went on strike after 3 years of failed negotiations to get a new contract. Employees are seeking better health care coverage and better pay. They voted overwhelmingly to authorize the strike Thursday after getting what they call is a substandard offer from Macy's. Longtime Macy's worker Bridget Red told KPIX News they just want to feel appreciated and safe when coming to work. She said, "I have always considered Macy's as a family because I think if you spend 33 years in a company, you look to them as family. But we want to also make sure that we're appreciated as a family." Red said having to go on strike was a difficult decision, but a necessary one. She said, "I hope they pass an agreement that is fair to the workers. And I know that we aren't going to get everything we want, but there should be a happy medium that you at least respect the workers." Do you hear that? They only wish to be respected as people, human beings, valued for the work that they do to make these companies and their CEOs and board members and shareholders rich. Workers are now taking a stand and voicing their demand for increased wages after UFCW Local 5 rejected Macy's latest offer that included a wage increase of less than $1. The UFCW Local 5 president, John Nunes, said, "The employees have been through a lot since COVID in the last 3 years. They've had a lot of anxiety and stress. They feel like they should be rewarded more than just 2.5%. We're asking for closer to 4% for these workers, which is still way under what the inflationary environment is in this area." Workers said another concern is healthcare coverage. One union worker on strike said, "The company wants to eliminate full-time workers and replace them with part-time workers with no benefits. And the benefit issue is also a concern of full-time workers. They only cover a third of the workers at the facility, so 2/3 of the workers go without healthcare benefits." So Macy's issued a statement that said, in part, "At Macy's, our top priority is to ensure the safety of our colleagues and customers. Our Macy's Union Square store remains open to customers and colleagues." And officials also said that they hope to reach an agreement soon. Meanwhile, strikes by Border Force staff at UK airports could go on for months. And that is unless the government enters talks over pay. And this is according to the head of the PCS union. Mark Serwatka, General Secretary of the Public and Commercial Services Union, the largest trade union representing British civil servants, said the union had a mandate for walkouts up until May. And UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said he was sad about disruption, which was caused by the strikes, but said he had acted fairly and reasonably over public sector pay. Thousands of travelers arriving in the UK have been told to expect delays, but so far disruption has been minimal. On the roads, however, there was severe congestion in some areas as the Christmas holiday travel getaway picked up the pace. And it was said that the possibility of rail strikes that were due to restart on Saturday had added to the larger number of cars on the road. Members of the armed forces have been prepared to provide cover for striking public service workers during the holiday period and will receive extra bonus payments for every day they work. Now, I find that it is amazing how the governments can control the people and yet decide to immediately approve additional spending for military and armed forces to take over jobs and duties for the public sector, but can't get businesses to work together with union workers to provide a reasonable and acceptable contract. Folks, coming up next, Walmart admits to charging customers multiple times. How did this happen? How many people lost money because of this? And most importantly, will they be able to get their money back? Banks issued warnings for big changes coming and have already begun taking money away from lots of people, and at no worst possible time either. And if you received a letter in the mail from the Social Security Administration, you had better not lose it or toss it in the trash. Major updates about benefits and cost changes coming on my next videos, so be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you don't miss these breaking and important updates. Until next time, folks, you all take care and be safe.